Broadcasting live from the Izzet Steam Maze on the plain of Ravnica, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome to Tap Tap Concede, everybody.
It's like a Ricardo Montalban reading.
Yes.
Tap tap concede.
Tap Tap Concede. Rich Corinthian leather. Sorry, Kiel Jordan leather. Kiel Jordan? Now I can't remember how to say it. Kiel Jordan? It is Kiel Jordan, isn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm Graham.
I'm James.
I'm Paul.
Kathleen's not here this week because she is at home looking after our new tiny cat.
It's not very tiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I mean, yeah, it's young, but it's not that small. I tweeted about it. I was like, "Look, we adopted this cat," and you texted me. You're like, "I thought you guys were adopting a kitten."
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's only 4 months old." You're like, "What?"
It's basically the same size as your dog,
It's huge.
Yeah.
if not bigger.
It will be.
It'll definitely be bigger.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Crack.
Yeah, this week we're gonna obviously crack a pack, and then we're gonna talk about some one or two topics. We got some good suggestions from you guys on the Twitter, the LRRMTG Twitter account. Got some good stuff to talk about there. But first, let us jump right into cracking this pack. This is a pack of Guildpact, which
Dear God.
we chose to crack this because I was looking at boosters and I had Paul pick a letter, which was the first. I asked you to pick A, E, or G, and it was Guildpact,
Alliances,
Apocalypse,
and what was the other?
E.
Exodus.
Yes. But
Oh, I was thinking that it was like the three things from Ravnica.
nope, they were totally unrelated. So, Guildpact. This is the second. This is the second pack, or the second expansion from the original Ravnica block.
So the equivalent of Gatecrash in the new block,
And you can tell because they both start with G.
Yeah.
except different set of guilds in it though.
Yes. Yeah, because originally it was Ravnica was a big set, and then Guildpact and Dissension were small sets, and Ravnica had four of the guilds, and then Guildpact had 3 of the guilds, and Dissension had 3 of the guilds.
Yeah.
So I don't actually remember what guilds are in here, but let's find out what we have. Douse in Gloom. It is an instant for 2 and a black. Douse in Gloom deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life.
I like douse in gloom. It's like
Yeah.
something was on fire and you're like, oh no, shit!
Get the gloom.
Cover them in gloom.
That sounds pretty okay. You sort of get to siphon a creature. I mean, it's in limited. It's gonna remove something.
Orzhov prisoners are steeped in a blackened brew that robs their souls of strength. Patriarchs drink that brew and extend their own lives.
Ew.
Creepy.
Oh yeah, look, there's thralls in the background. There's little Orzhov
Yeah.
thralls.
Yeah.
Little removal.
Yeah, this seems fine actually.
Yeah.
Do 2 damage to something.
You gain 2 life.
You gain a couple life as
Yeah.
a bonus. You'd probably pay 3 just to kill something anyway in limited. So.
It's a common. Might as well take it. Yeah.
Might as well. Well, I know one of the guilds in here because we have an Izzet Signet.
Oh boy.
Well, that one was an Orzhov card, so.
Yeah, well, it was black.
But it was an Orzhov card.
Nope, it just referenced the Orzhov. It does not actually have the Orzhov watermark. And that happened all through the Return to Ravnica block as well. You'd have cards, monocolored cards that referenced guilds that weren't necessarily in that set. So
God,
Is it
signets were
Signet?
good.
Yeah.
So signets are too good, I think.
They were too good. That's why they didn't get reprinted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's, I remember in Limited Resources, they're talking about how, one of the difficulties with the new Return to Ravnica drafting is that you need just as much mana fixing as you did with the original original Ravnica, but it's all worse.
Yeah.
Like these are so good.
Gruul is also in this. We have the Gore Clan Savage. He is a 2/3 for 5. For 3 green.
Okay.
But do you remember what the Gruul mechanic was from original Ravnica block?
No.
Bloodthirst.
Oh right.
And
Yeah.
this guy has Bloodthirst 3. So if an opponent was dealt damage this turn, this guy is actually a 5/6
Yeah.
for 5.
So-
For 5.
So Bloodthirst then came back.
Yeah, Bloodthirst was brought back as the mechanic for M12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting. I thought when I was looking for this card in the thing, it's not Gore Clan as in like Gore.
No.
It's just he happens to be named Gore.
You want a big worm?
No.
No?
I don't want a big worm.
You don't want? Do you want like basically a craw worm that for a slightly different casting cost?
Sure.
All right, good, because we have Street Breaker Worm. He's a 6/4, which is a craw worm, right?
I think
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Except this guy is 3 red-green to cast. That's all he does. The Orzhov run a construction unit whose only business is rebuilding the wreckage left in the wake of worms. When business is slow, they pay Golgari Carnomancers to lure the worms to the surface.
Yeah, this guy seems okay.
That doesn't seem good. Well, I guess he's
5.
he's one less than a craw worm, but he's harder to cast.
Yeah.
He's fine.
I guess that's fine. Yeah.
Bloodscale Prowler. He's a Viashino. In fact, he's very similar to the Viashino Shanktail because he's a 3/1 for 2 and a red.
Okay.
But except the Shanktail was 3 and a red, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Shanktail's better. This guy just has Bloodthirst 1. So
Okay.
he can be a 4/2 if you've already done damage to your opponent. Infiltrator's Mage Mark. 2 and a blue for a enchantment aura, enchant creature. Creatures you control that are enchanted get +1/+1 and can't be blocked except by creatures with Defender. This is interesting. It's a creature enchantment that doesn't just affect that creature.
It's any enchanted creature.
Yeah, it's basically just an enchantment, like a world enchantment, basically, but it's on a creature.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes.
So it's much weaker
Yeah.
because it can be destroyed if the creature dies.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
it's creatures you control that are enchanted get +1/+1 and can't be blocked except by creatures with Defender. So obviously that affects the creature you put this on.
Yeah.
But it can affect all other creatures as well.
So
Anyone
that's
that
also
is enchanted, and enchantments were creature enchantments.
It's weird
were big
because
in this block.
so when this goes on a creature, it's basically it's literally a nothing enchantment.
Kind of. Well, yeah, but because that creature is then enchanted, it gets +1/+1 and can't be blocked.
Yeah,
by
yeah.
creature with Defender. Yeah,
But so does every other. Like this is just like a does nothing enchantment that gives it the other bonus.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Poison Belly Ogre.
How good would that card be if it was creatures you control get +1/+1 and cannot be blocked except for by creatures with Defender for each enchantment you control?
That'd be super busted, wouldn't it? It'd be
Well,
like,
what about-
it'd be
what
like
about-
ethereal armor?
What about for each enchantment that's on the creature?
Well, for each enchanted creature.
It gets
Yeah.
+1/+1.
So if you have this out and another creature that's enchanted with something, they both get
They're
+2/+2.
+2/+2.
That seems better.
I
like
feel
that
like
better.
I feel like that would
That
be
seems really
it would,
strong.
Like it would. I feel like that could be done so that it would be balanced. Like it would cost a little bit more,
Yeah.
but I feel like that could be kind of an interesting thing. Like I actually quite like cards that encourage people to play creature enchantments, just because they're interesting and you don't normally get to see them too much.
So the Poison Belly Ogre is a 3/3 for 4 and a black. Whenever another creature comes into play, yours or theirs, that creature's controller loses 1 life.
Okay.
It's almost like extort in some ways.
Not really. Isn't this what Bloodseeker does?
Yeah, but Bloodseeker's only your opponent.
Only your opponent.
Yeah.
He's not a poison belly ogre.
No, the Poison Belly.
Yeah, poison belly just happens to be his name.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily have a poison belly.
I think he does.
Some claim it's a failed Simic experiment. Others say a Golgari creation. Both guilds deny all responsibility while secretly studying its strange virulence. It's
Weird.
black. It can't be either of those. People don't know what they're talking about. So we've got definitely Is It and definitely Gruul.
And Orzhov is the other.
Is it or like we haven't actually seen any actual Orzhov?
No, but
cards.
Orzhov is the other guild in this
Is
the
it?
set.
Oh, it is? You looked it up?
No, I know that.
Oh, okay.
Because I know I pulled I bought a pack of this.
Oh yeah, there's Orzhov. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The guild mage is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Further in the cycle of mage marks, the Guardian's Mage Mark. So it's a 2 and a white this time for a creature enchantment. It has flash, or as
we
it
haven't
says,
done a mage mark before.
Yeah, we just did one. The Infiltrator's Mage Mark.
Oh, right.
Or as it says here, you may play Guardian's Mage Mark anytime you can play an instant. Enchant creature. Creatures you control that are enchanted get +1/+1.
Oh, okay, so there's a cycle of those.
Yeah. So this one, so they both are creatures you control get +1/+1. The blue one can't be blocked except by defenders. This one has flash.
The enchantment has flash.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
it's like a combat trick that sticks around,
So
which seems fine.
yeah, interesting. So it's Gruul, Orzhov, and
Is it?
Izzet. Oh, okay.
It's a little weird combo.
Yeah, so there's very little blue, I would think, in this set. Like, Izzet's the only one using blue?
Well, Orzhov is the only one using white or black.
Yes, it's true.
Gruul's the only one using green. The only shared thing is
It was red.
it both uses red.
Huh, interesting.
Speaking of Is it, I love these guys. I love them. The wee Dragonauts. The wee Dragonauts cost 1 blue, red. And they're a 1/3 flyer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, wee Dragonauts gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
This is
It seems decent.
it's the Cyclops in the new
It's very similar to the Nivik Cyclops or the Flux Charger, things like that. But yeah, the wee Dragonauts are just great.
Yeah.
I like the flavor text. The Blaze Kite is a simple concept, really. Just a vehicular application of a drag scoop ionics and electropropulsion magnetonics.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Juzba is its tinkerer.
Next up is a counterspell.
Ooh.
Rune Boggle.
Bam, gorilla right there.
2 and a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 colorless. Draw a card.
Counter target spell unless opponent can beat you in a game of Boggle.
Like if they tap out, you can get them, but that's got to be pretty early in the game, I feel.
Yeah.
That's what's the one? Not mental misstep. Well, I guess mental misstep.
Which?
No,
Mental
there's-
misstep is
no.
counter target spell with converted mana
Yeah,
cost.
there's already a counter that's just adds 1 to the mana cost.
I don't remember it offhand, but you're right.
Stutter? Spell stutter? No. I don't know. Anyway. But you get it's got the cantrip thing, which is
Yeah,
kind of
that
nice.
seems okay. It's not
But it's-
amazing.
Yeah, you got
Counter spells unlimited are never amazing, but who knows? Gruul Notarog.
thought you were gonna say Gruul Notary.
Gruul Notary. No. The Notarog is a 4/4 for 6. And for 1 red, it gets the War Drums ability, which it cannot be blocked this turn except by 2 or more creatures, which is like Madcap Skills or the Gruul War Chant.
Yeah. I like this guy's got the thing where it's like he can be just a great green card, or if you want to use his ability.
I would think you would have to get a...
Yeah.
Yeah,
otherwise you're paying
4/4
a
for
4/4
6.
for
Yeah.
6.
That's too
not
much.
amazing.
Especially in green.
Yeah. All right, we're into our uncommons.
I feel like a Gruul Notary
Notary.
would be like, it would be just like teeth marks in your document.
Yeah.
Is like the official notary stamp.
So first up
This
is
guy's 1.5 stars. He's
an
not-
uncommon that was reprinted in Gatecrash.
Oh,
Can you guess what it is?
that is indeed uncommon.
So it's got to be... It doesn't have to be. I guess... Okay, I'll tell you. It's from one of the guilds. It's a gold card, an uncommon that was reprinted in Gatecrash.
Does it have like the name of the guild? And then
No, it just is gold colored.
I don't know.
It is a Gruul card.
Gruul uncommon. That was reprinted.
Does it have the name of the?
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't actually... it was reprinted in Return to Ravnica block. It was actually reprinted in Dragon's Maze.
Oh,
Sorry, I completely forgot about that.
that doesn't help me.
Converted mana cost 1 red green.
I don't actually know.
It is the
drawed.
Feral Animist.
Oh, I totally would not have gotten that.
All right. He's a 2/1 for 1 red green.
I don't like this card at all.
And for 3 colorless, he gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn, where X is its power. So you do it. So with no other outside effects, though it's best to use with outside effects, but with no other outside effects, use it once, and he gets plus 2 plus 0. And you use it a second time, and he gets plus 4 plus 0, because its power is then 4. So it's this it's not linear, is it? No, it's
It's a
is it exponential?
exponential.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's okay.
I like the old image. This is the new art for that, but it's kind of murky. The new art. I like the old art where
It is
he
a
just
bit, yeah.
he just has like a giant arms.
Oh, this is delightful. Next card is Droning Bureaucrats.
Nice.
I love that. That's like droning is a special ability.
They're 1/4 for 3 and a white. That's a cool piece of art from Kev Walker there. Human Advisor. X and tap. Each creature with converted mana cost X can't attack or block this turn. Probably want to read the flavor text on this
flavor
one?
text. And you must also apply for an application license. File documents 136V and 222C and D in triplicate. Pay all request fees. Request a... and it just keeps going and going and going. I like the idea of like a giant monster like sitting there and being like... trying to, like somehow being stopped by... just a bureaucrat sitting there making him fill out forms.
Yeah.
And trying to like hold a pencil in his claws.
It doesn't seem amazing.
Well, yeah. I guess if you're really trying to lock down the board.
Yeah. And we got
it is can block as well.
Yeah.
So it can be used offensively.
Mm-hmm. And onto our rare, because we have a foil.
Boom.
I notice you have a price list there, James.
Yep.
I can almost guarantee you this is not on that price list. Mimeofacture
No, it's certainly not.
is a blue sorcery for 3 and a blue with Replicate, which is the Is It mechanic. Choose target permanent and opponent controls. Search that player's library for a card with the same name and put it into play under your control. Then that player shuffles his or her library. Replicate for 3 and a blue, which is when you play this spell, copy it for each time you pay its replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies. So if you have 8 mana, you can do this twice. Choose 2 permanents, the opponent controls, or the same one twice. Go through their deck, take the thing, and put it into play under your control.
So
it's kind of like a mind control, but they get to keep it.
In limited, well, it's kind of like a clone.
Yeah. In limited, it's terrible.
In limited, is terrible because the chance of them having 2 of any card are fairly low. Right.
Yeah.
Unless you do a land.
Yeah, I mean, the fact, like I was saying, it's like a clone. The fact that it hits any permanent makes it better. But, I mean, there aren't that many permanents you want to hit other than big creatures.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be in the position to be taking land out of their deck.
And if he's got a big bomb,
and cannot die.
He's not going to have 2 of them.
No.
And if he does have 2 of his big bomb, you're probably fucked anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. All right.
In Constructed, I could see it being kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually got a pretty good rating in Gatherer.
Lastly is a foil, which is sweet because I actually run this card in one of my commander decks, and I totally won it now. This is Souls of the Faultless. It's a 0/4 defender for white, black, black. Whenever the Souls of the Faultless is dealt combat damage, you gain that much life, and attacking player loses that much life.
Combat damage.
Dear God, that's a $3 card.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
How about the foil version?
It's mine now.
That is the
it's
3.
foil.
It is foil, so it's $3.
Yeah, I run that in my Orzhov deck. It's interesting. It definitely makes people not want to attack.
And yeah, I mean, it's a good, if you, it's got defender though, so.
Yeah.
It's just.
What's a 0/4?
Yeah, but you say, but you can't even buff it up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's certainly a nice wall.
Like if they've got anything with if they have nothing with 4 power or greater, they just don't want to attack you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you just block, and their guy doesn't die, but your guy doesn't die, and they lose like 3 life, and you gain 3 life. That's bad.
Yeah, true story. True story, bro.
I mean, he's got like better lifelink. Basically.
Yeah, tough to cast. Well, it's not just lifelink; it's a drain life.
Yeah.
It's even better.
Well, yeah, better lifelink.
Yeah. What do you think you're first picking out of this, James?
The Douse and Gloom, probably, or
The
maybe the
Always take removal.
It's not even necessarily always take removal. It's just none of these other cards really seem all that good.
I could take the Gore Clan Savage, maybe.
Yeah, the Savage isn't bad. That's true.
Or the Souls. I don't know. Probably it's.
I don't want to take first pick a defender guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not first picking it.
I gotta say the Wee Dragonauts can get freaky, especially if you draft around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just Douse and Gloom.
Douse and Gloom seems okay.
It's boring, but it's removal. It's helpful.
Yeah, and it's only one color too. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you are like there is only one guild that can take that one color. So you're effectively still locking yourself into Orzhov at that point. But that's an interesting dynamic. As opposed to the new
You could just splash black.
That's true. Although it's a double black one, isn't it?
No, Douse and Gloom is single black.
Oh, it's single black? Okay, that's not bad then. Except none of the fixing to do that would be in here, probably.
No, because you'd have a...
Well, there'd be an Orzhov thing. The Orzhov
signet.
Orzhov signet.
But the signets only take colorless to activate, so that's fine.
Right. And then you get a white and a black. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. There's Guildpact.
Was there a set of multi-lands in this Ravnica?
Well, the original Shocklands.
The original Shocklands.
Oh, okay.
They're the exact same.
But
those
they
would
were
be hard
rare,
to get.
yeah.
There wasn't any common lands.
No, the fixing was the signets,
right?
Which are significantly better than like the clue stones or
the keystones
or the key runes.
Yeah. We are now joined by Alex. Because he was here and we had an open seat
because he was here.
And
seat filler.
Well,
he
happened
I got
to come by.
Drawn in to this chair of magic.
And we asked our Twitter what subjects people would like to hear about, and there was a lot of people who mentioned Cube.
Oh boy.
And Cube is a lot of fun.
It sure is.
James, you have a cube.
I have a cube. So, okay, we should probably talk about what a cube is.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's
what's a cube?
So
there's several people. Yeah, there was a bunch of people asking, "What is a cube?"
So I remember when you first built your cube a couple of years ago, and I was so confused because I was like, "Wait, what? How is it a cube? Like, what makes it a cube?
I don't know where the name is
from.
Thing?
Like, I don't understand how that works.
I really feel like a cube should be in the shape of a cube.
It should be.
It should be.
Turns out it's not. It's just a whole bunch of magic cards. So what it is you get together. What's like the lowest number? It's like
300
or something.
It's enough for an 8-man draft, I think. Like you can probably go smaller depending on.
Right. So.
Like there's no hard and fast rule about how to build a cube.
It's 360 because 45 times 50. Yeah, so 360 is sort of the minimum because that means your entire cube will be used for an 8-man draft. So generally, a cube is made up of cards. I mean, it's hard because
it's basically just broadly, it's like a build your own expansion.
It is, and you can really kind of do whatever you want. I mean, I know a lot of people on Reddit. Cube has gotten huge on Reddit. I see a lot of people talking about it now.
It's like a curated pool of cards.
Yes.
From which you draft.
So over and over
and over
and
that's
again.
the thing. That's the thing, right? Is that you can draft over and over and over again.
But it's neat because you can change your cube, or you can different cubes will result in different kinds of drafts.
Yeah, like you can
different types of decks.
Because you are the curator of the cube, you can choose what sub themes and super themes you want in the cube. It's like I want Storm to be a thing in my cube, or I want Dredge to be a thing. So I include cards that would facilitate that, and you can do that.
And it is very important for your cube to have a theme. Don't just think that because you have 360 dirt rares sitting around your house right now, individual. That's another key
I don't know.
point.
A dirt cube could be fun,
but you still need to. I
like not only a dirt cube but a dirt rare cube.
Yeah.
Because all the rare cards would be so weird.
Just $1 rares.
Yeah, just a $1 rare cube, right?
Oh man,
So
first pick
weird.
Goblin game.
So,
Yeah.
but this is this idea of like, think about. I like the idea of like when you're thinking about your cube. If you aren't using a preset list, think about your cube. If you're going to make one, and think about games of Magic that you played, and what kinds of decks were the most fun for you personally, or for playing it, playing against, or you playing it. And so you want to build your cube to encourage those types of decks.
Yeah.
So, if you hate people countering all your stuff all the time, you can just not put
It's a
any
no
counters.
counters cube.
Or
Or just a no blue cube.
Yeah. It's just, you can just have a racist cube.
James,
Where it's like, I don't like
No, that would be
particular-
just like
mono
I don't
white.
like that
mono
color.
white cube.
Mono white cube. Wow.
The white
So,
power
really
cube.
weird.
James, you mentioned you were about to say that cubes are also singleton.
They are.
So whereas if you're drafting like triple Dragon's Maze, or you're drafting triple Gatecrash, you're gonna see the same commons a lot. And
You are.
possibly even the same uncommons. In,
Yep.
in some cases, more than one rare of the same card.
That is not the case with the cube.
Yeah, in a cube, every card is different.
Correct.
I
And
guess,
that leads to greater variety of play. Also, it means that because of the way that you actually draft a cube, which we'll talk about in a moment, you don't end up with like 3 of the same common in the same booster.
I guess we don't. Theoretically, it doesn't have to be singleton, but it seems like it's better.
I think actually every single cube I've seen is singleton,
Same.
and
Yeah.
it's sort of like by design. It's like you could do one that had like 4 ofs and 5 ofs, or you just do like the all Stormcrow cube, which is super busted.
So the Magic Online cube, which is the official like sort of Wizards one,
Mutko cube
is like very highly powered. It has a lot of really powerful cards in it.
Yeah.
At over Christmas time, they actually did what is called a powered cube, meaning a cube that has like the power
Power
9 in it,
Yeah.
like the Moxes and Black Lotus and stuff. But generally, the Magic Online cube is just, it's got very powerful cards in it.
Yes.
to
And
the
it-
point where you can basically take any random cards, and it'll probably be a pretty solid deck.
like
Yeah.
opening a pack in cube is just sort of this agony of choice over like every one of these picks is good. Which one is the best, as
Yeah.
opposed to like this is all garbage, which is the least bad.
Yeah.
But-
assuming you put good stuff in
It doesn't mean that all the cards in your cube have to be. Oh, I just realized we still have Debt to the Deathless up on screen.
Womp
You
womp.
want to clear that off?
Don't put it in your cube.
I just realized that you don't. That doesn't mean that you have to have, like tons of rares or mythics or super powerful crazy cards, because James's cube
Is a popper cube.
is a
So good.
popper cube.
So there are a lot of different ways to build a cube, and when I decided that I wanted to build one, price was definitely a factor.
Like people have like $1,000.
Oh, thousands and thousands.
I've played with like an all foil, like all good cards cube. It was kind of
Yeah,
intimidating.
it's
like,
intimidating because you're
I'm
like,
afraid.
oh, God. And like, I mean, the powered cubes alone, those are like the 9 cards are worth thousands of dollars.
I know one guy personally who has the Power 9.
Yeah,
he actually has an unlimited complete set that he drafts with.
Like
Dear
it,
God.
there's a certain kind of cube that's essentially like a 360 card Highlander deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically
That's
is.
like an insanely good, or not insanely good, but a rainbow Highlander deck,
Yeah.
and
So-
with all the costs that implies.
Yeah.
So Pauper.
So Pauper is common only.
Mm.
So this is why. So the cost was a factor. So I decided that. So I had 2 options. I could go Pauper or you can go Peasant. And Peasant is commons and uncommons. I decided to go with Pauper because I found a very nice list online that I really liked. So here's the thing. Cubes can be very complicated. Like, to build a really, really, really good cube takes time. Like, you need to sit down and you need to figure out what your archetypes are, what your themes and sub-themes are, and what kind of cards you want to be in the cube for them to all kind of work together. So when you sit down to draft it, it actually flows and makes sense, and you can actually build decks that have been designed in
It
mind.
sounds like a lot of fun.
So
it sounds like a lot
it
of
is.
fun.
So there's like, there's the right kind of, that there actually is like mana fixing, for instance.
Yeah,
so
Exactly.
stuff, but not too much mana.
And
Or
what-
there's like what kind of different
Yeah, there's
types of
also
cards.
like a balance between colors and then a balance between like card types within a color. It's like you want to have what I've seen is approximately half of like a color slice in the cube is creatures, and then the other half is like a mix of instant sorceries,
Enchantments.
enchantments, and planeswalkers.
Yeah. So I decided that I didn't want to do any of that.
Not a lot of planeswalkers in the pop.
Not a lot of there's not a lot of planeswalkers in the Pauper Cube. I decided that I would let somebody else who's much smarter and cooler than I do that. So I stole a gentleman by the name of Adam, and God, I can never remember his last name. It's like Stibbs something.
But it's
not Sabadan.
Stibbs.
It's
Right.
Stibbs. He's Stibbs. Adam S. He is the I believe he's the managing editor of Gathering Magic. He works for. He also does coverage, text coverage for WotC at their Grand Prix and their Pro Tours and stuff like that. Super nice guy. I've met him a couple times, but I found his cube before I had met him, and then started to build it, and got his attention. And he's been super helpful, and very excited to know how it's gone anytime I've drafted it.
Oh, nice.
He keeps it up to date with every new set release, which is super nice.
So like when the new set comes out, he'll be like, add these cards, take these ones out.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, like
and you've even tweaked it a bit from that.
I wouldn't necessarily tweaked it. I would say I've added a couple cards that I felt like should be in there, or cards that I had that weren't on his list, but I had that were cards that I like. What cards are in there? So Stormcrow's in there.
because you got to put in the
You gotta put
Stormcrow.
Yes. Okay.
Stormcrow.
Sorry. That's the one rule for cubes: is Stormcrow has to be in the cube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stormcrow has to be in the cube.
We don't make the rules. That's just how it is.
Scythe Tiger or
Scythe Tiger?
Scythe.
Scythe,
It's a
Scythe Tiger is so cool.
Yeah.
He's really aggressive.
Yeah, so I really like that card a lot. It's one of my favorites, but it wasn't on his list. But I had a foil one, so I'm like, that's got to go in there.
Well, like, you get to play all the sort of goofball cards because like you're in charge and you can play cards that maybe aren't even necessarily the most powerful, but kind of the most interesting.
Something
Yeah.
that amazed me when I drafted your cube, the time that we did, was I was like, they're all commons, but they're all really powerful.
Yeah, they're all really good.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, when there aren't like the big bombs of rares to blow everything out of the water.
Yeah.
Commons can be very like, especially when you're if you choose the right ones. Like every set will generally have 3 or 4 commons that are way above the curve in terms of
Yeah, well, it's like
card quality.
it's the sort of quiet backbone of every deck in every format. It's like you have all the best counter spells are common, all the best burn spells are common. A lot of the most aggressive sort of green creatures are common.
I mean, that's sort of the ironic thing that you learn pretty quickly, especially if you draft Magic, is that rare cards are not necessarily good.
Yeah.
That isn't what rare means.
Yeah.
Rare means that they
They're-
don't show up very often.
Because they're very complex.
Yeah, sometimes the
sometimes.
reason why they don't show up very often is because they're really complex and Wizards didn't want to confuse people. And when you actually look at it, it's not actually that good a card. Or it's only good in like a really specific circumstance.
Yeah, like I just saw that Renounce the Guilds is a rare.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a pretty straightforward effect, but it's like...
But whereas commons tend to be more sort of universally applicable.
It's like Rancor.
Oh, well,
Originally printed as a common.
And it's
Yeah.
in the cube.
Ooh.
So
I mean, I guess the other difference, your cube, you don't have, there's like a bunch of Portals 3 Kingdoms stuff that he put in that you don't have, right?
No, I managed to get everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did manage to get absolutely everything on his list. I also cut out he had some uncards in there.
Yeah, some people put
Yeah.
uncards into their cube.
I decided
There's a
to
few that are
not put any.
popular.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
decided not to put any of those in.
So how mu- so
Again, it's your cube.
it's
so you can do whatever
360
you want.
minimum. How many cards are in yours?
I would need to double check, but
Is it like in the 400,
it's
450?
I think it's between 400 and 450.
Okay.
So, I mean, the bigger the cube, the more variants you have. Right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you have either gotten a list from someone online and built that cube, or you have gone through and determined what you want to be in the cube that you are making yourself.
Yep.
How do you draft with a cube?
so the idea with the cube is then you have a pool to draft with.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that you can draft anytime you want for free.
Right.
Yes. So first important thing to do is sleeve up your cube. And the other important thing to do
And
is...
your lands.
And your lands.
Sleeve your land.
That is very, very important. And sleeve it in the same sleeves. Now, here's a funny story with my cube. Probably not the same, not actually the case anymore because I've started to foil out my cube. but when I first put together my cube, I promise you that it cost more money for me to buy the Dragon Shield sleeves than it did for me to put together the actual cards. I promise you it cost probably double. Because
I
needed 500 sleeve packs.
I ended up buying like 7 or 8 plus land.
Right.
So
I thought you were going to say that the land cost more than the cards in it.
the land also does, because my entire cube is full art Zendikar lands.
Get out.
They used to be much cheaper.
So
pricey now, and they're only going to go up.
Yeah, so I have 40 of each basic land sleeved up in the same box.
Do not underestimate the amount of land that you'll need.
For 8 people, you probably want at least 40.
I think 40 of each basic is
40
about
of each
right.
basic is the right.
Because like 2 or 3 people could be playing the same color, right?
Yeah, or if you want to play on the safe side, go 50. And I think at 50, you're probably fine. The chances of more than 5 people at your 8-man draft needing 10 swamps or
like
11
half
swamps
the table
each.
forces mono red, and you run out of mountains.
Yeah, and it's just like this forest is a mountain.
Or just one guy is like, all right, I want 30 mountains for this deck.
Yeah, it's like wait,
what? What kind of deck are you
want
making?
30 mountains. Yeah.
So that's
I'm
important.
not a very good player.
Obviously, anything that isn't any land that isn't basic is just in the cube.
It is in the normal cube. Yes, absolutely. Then you're gonna want to get together 6 to 8 of your friends, or 6 or 8 of your friends probably, and shuffle up your cube. That's very
The
important.
whole thing. That takes a while.
That honestly takes the most time.
Well, in my experience, what you do is you split it into piles, and then you have people shuffle, then trade halves, and then shuffle again.
And I would say, I know there's people out there who like to reset after they're done. Like they go back through and they organize the whole thing by color. And it's just like, then you're just going to have to do that all over again. And it's not the worst, but if you draft it often, don't do that. That doesn't make any sense.
Take the land out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You take the land out at the end, but you don't need to sort by color, because if you plan on drafting it, 2 nights later, you're just going to spend another 15 minutes shuffling.
Unless you use your cube to build Highlander decks.
Unless you do that.
Which is another use of a cube.
Won't your cube be in the order of all the decks that people had made?
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you
shuffle it up.
You can shuffle them back up.
Like you still shuffle. You just don't need to shuffle as much as if you're going from everything divided by color.
But so, anyways, once you have it all shuffled up, you make 15 card packs from everything. You make obviously 3 per person, and then you draft just as you normally would with a 15 card booster pack.
And then you look at these 15 pieces of gold, decide which one to take.
Now obviously with your pauper cube, it's not an issue. But if you're building if you're building a cube with cards of all the different rarities, would you do it with the same divisions? Like do 10 or 11 commons, 3 uncommons, and a rare?
No.
You could, but I don't think you do. You just pick the cards you want, and the rarity is sort of immaterial. It's like you might have a section of the cube that's just like mostly commons.
Is Mikko's cube, does it do that? You see more than...
Does it which?
Does it do 11 commons, 3 uncommons, and
I don't believe it does.
No. Yeah. The Magic Online cube it's just you'll open it up and there'll be like a mythic, 4 rares.
Yeah.
And
that's
like
the case
2 really spicy uncommons.
So when do you just you don't actually build those packs, right?
No,
you just
no.
You just take the top
cards.
15 cards off.
Yeah, even if you're
that'd be such a pain. It's just like
even if
the
your
commons
cube,
pile will take.
Even if your cube has cards from whatever rarity, you don't actually divide. It's just.
And you could get the 15 rare pack.
Yeah,
and you don't decide what's going to be in the packs.
No, they're totally random.
So random.
Just face down, shuffle them up,
good point.
And then you just make
Very
packs.
good point. Yeah, that's totally key.
So you just take the top 15 cards.
Yeah, by
15
making packs,
cards.
I don't mean going through and picking cards and making packs. I
mean
mean
piles of 15 cards.
Making random piles of 15 cards.
Right.
If you are obviously not building a pauper cube, there are the set numbers. I don't know these numbers in terms of how many commons,
like suggested numbers.
Yeah,
are there?
many? Yeah, because you want to keep you want the ratios to make sense generally, where you have more commons than uncommons and more uncommons than rares.
I think that sort of depends on the cube, because I think I glanced at the list for the Mitgo cube, and it is mostly rares. I think it's
true.
basically just
This-
like whatever card choices you want to have in there.
Actually, I'm starting to actually kind of like the idea of the dirt rare cube.
Yeah,
rare cube.
somebody I know
could
was
make a
sort
dirt
of
rare
It's so
cube.
weird.
he was talking about this. I don't think he ever got around to it, but he was going to make a like worst cards in Magic cube,
Oh,
Ooh.
man.
and then you just backdraft
So,
it to
I mean,
each other.
we should do that.
So I mean, there's a lot of like
Chimney
okay.
Imp.
So there's like the monocolored cubes.
First
There's a one drop cube, which I kind of want to build because
Ooh.
that sounds hilarious.
That'd be
Yeah.
real strong.
For like the fastest, most running out of gas games ever.
I don't know. There's some. Well, that's like the fastest most have all the tutors.
Yeah.
And all the good burn
What about cards that
spells
can be
and
suspended
counters.
for one, but the rule is you always have to suspend them?
Dear God.
Uh,
Terrible cube.
Dirkwood Bailoff.
no.
So, yeah, I know there's a really easy way of getting into this if even everything we've talked about is sort of beyond what you want to try before you really get going, is you make a cube out of the current set. You make
So just one card of
or just
every-
whatever you have.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to like just jam, again, don't just jam 500 random cards together, but like make a Return to Ravnica cube where if you can, you try to get one of every card or one of every card that you can get.
Probably
right?
not Sphinx's Revelation.
Probably not.
Or
Just
The-
because you probably can't afford it.
I mean, what we showed in the Friday nights is something that actually seems like a great idea.
Just
Oh,
a,
this is-
a box of
this
Modern
is
Masters.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the Modern Masters cube is a big thing online. A lot of people are doing that.
Do you think?
I thought of it all by myself.
Do you think Modern Masters, do you think that wouldn't work as well for a box of regular set like Modern Masters?
I think definitely the set of Modern Masters would make a sweet cube.
Well, yeah. Well, so
no,
people
but I mean like
like
a box of Dragon's Maze.
well,
wouldn't make a
yeah,
very good cube.
You probably even with Modern Masters, you want to curate. You don't want to just jam like every.
It'd be a good place to start.
It's not a bad place to start, but you want to.
Well, because like the
build
ratio
from
of like
there.
really good, seasoned cards is
Yeah.
very, very high.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that if anyone has like a halfway's decent collection, they could throw together
Yep.
a fine cube.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
a playable cube just out of just like stuff that they have. Certainly a pauper cube, and even then it's easy to like if there's if there's cards that you don't have, if your local game store has a good selection of commons or you want to go through a place like Card Kingdom, it's really easy and not that expensive. Yeah, Card Kingdom, thanks Alex. It's really easy and not that expensive to get commons.
Yeah, just before I forget, my Pauper Cube, which is Adams, is
$5.
Is the paupercube.wordpress.com. If you go there, you'll find a link to the Google Doc,
Nice.
which he has shared, which you can look over and
We post
it
that
out.
link in the
yeah, I'll
in the
put. I'll,
thread.
yeah,
I think
put
there's
it in the
also
thread.
cubemagic.com, which is
Yep.
another.
There's a lot
pretty
of
good cube.
resources, and there's
There's tons of them.
There's
like,
the Reddit, the subreddit for Cube, which I think is just
yeah, and like MTG Salvation, I think has an entire
Right,
sub
yep.
theme or sub forum.
forum for it. Yep, there are a lot of resources out there, and it's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the big thing to think about is that what kind of Magic do you want to play? Like if the pauper, like making a pauper cube, is going to lend itself to a certain type of Magic game.
Yeah, watch out for mono red.
Well, it's fun. Like the nice thing about pauper is that it's fun and cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you have the money or you already have the cards and you want to do like a crazy heavy rare just like super powerful cards cube, do that too.
Or you can adjust like the speed of the games too. Like if you really liked playing Magic during like Rise of the Eldrazi,
Yeah.
then you could adjust things that way. So have like add
Lots of like ramp and really expensive cards.
add more really expensive or really high casting cost creatures and stuff. If that's just
It's
if
just
that's
like
what you
this
want to
slow
play.
build and then Sundering Titan.
So it's cool that way. Like it really is very customizable.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. I think that's
Cube.
Cube, everybody. Thank you for that suggestion. We'll use some of your other suggestions in future episodes, I'm sure. Though I imagine we'll probably have something to talk about next week.
And yeah, if anybody listening actually already has a cube,
Tell us about it.
feel free to tell us about it in the thread, or if you are inspired by this podcast to build your own cube, please let us know about it in the thread for this podcast.
That's a thread on the LoadingReadyRun.com forums. Please don't try to post your entire cube list in the YouTube comments. I don't think the character limit will handle it.
Comments can't hold it.
Yeah. So.
Yes, maybe a link to it.
Yes.
350 lines of text.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening to Tap Tap Concede this week. Alex, thanks for joining us for the latter half there. And we will talk to you guys next time.
So long.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.